All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here, map 2 in the final quarterfinals of the SLTV Star Series tournament. We've got Astralis playing CLG, and it's been interesting, if slightly ridiculous in the first map. Map 2 could be even worse.
Yeah, the thing is now we go into sort of realms where what I'm sort of hoping for is that because CLG aren't anywhere near as confident on this map as the previous, that they do just sort of go into a full YOLO style of just like, okay, we're going to go NA, we're going to go through these smokes, we're going to try and just basically stop you doing what you were doing and almost just throw them off a little bit and have something like sort of nifty in there. It'd be nice.
It seems like something that actually a lot of underdog teams don't want to do, and it could just be that they sort of want to say, well, when we do get back and we watch the demo, we want as much usable material that we can out of it. So, but I mean, I was saying the same thing on on Cash. I think please just try and play less standard. But it could be that there's sort of a thing where you say, actually, I want to be able to watch the demo and see how did they outplay me, why didn't it work, and all the rest of it. So maybe that's it. Regardless, there is a sort of a sizable skill gap between these two teams, and I don't know if there's any overcoming it for CLG right now.
Wait, it was just, you could see it as well. That was the worst thing. Like, Astralis would lose, like, sort of a silly round. They'd buy back up and just keep everyone alive, or just, like, basically trounce. And it was almost sort of painful, because there was always a part of me that was like, okay, now I've got to start taking it as, okay, Astralis are going to lose this. And then they would just win, what, 6 rounds in a row, whatever they did at the start of the second half, but without really trying too much. Either way, I think we're going into the ninth. I don't think... Yeah, this has been on the desk every other time, so just completely forgot that knife rounds even existed. But I kind of hope to see Astralis take that T-side, because then we get to see sort of what, not only what CLG have practiced in a way, or what they have on this map, but also whether or not Astralis are going to be taking this as seriously, or if they're just going to run and gun and try and just challenge using the skill that they no doubtly have.
Yeah, well, they're not going to give you your wish, Tom. I'm sorry, but they swapped it out. They're going to start CT side instead. Leave CLG on the T side, so definitely going to be an uphill battle, a struggle. Obviously, the best case scenario here is they start off with a pistol round win, which is definitely possible. But I mean, on a map like this, there are so many corners that you can sort of briefly defend and fall back to the next, and then defend that one and fall back to the next. And against a team like Astralis with the USP, it's a chance you could get shot in the face a lot of times before you get close to a bomb site. So. See how it's going to play out. They should be readying up and going live any second now. But yeah, if you are just joining us, and if you haven't been paying too much attention throughout the day, we do have one of the semifinals already decided, and that's going to be FaZe versus Hellraisers, which is exciting. And the other one is going to be Na'Vi versus whoever wins here, very likely Astralis. And if that happens, certainly I would say one for sure very good semifinals, and the other one, I don't know. I mean, I've
got my Hellraisers hat already. It's been given to me.
Oh,
so
you've got it ready?
I've got it ready. Like it's in my bag right now. So I'm going with the crowd. I think a lot of people are going to be going with FaZe though, because although they haven't hit the sort of peak that we've seen from them previously, I think they definitely can going towards the end of the tournament.
Yes, I mean that's a likely outcome, I think. Oh, already Ricky starting off, and I was talking about headshots, but this time it's CLG's turn, and Glaive, way too many targets, so that rush into B working perfectly. 5 versus 3 for the retake here, and CLG just have to calm down and play this one slowly. They even still have a flashbang and an HG there on Finesse.
And there's no kid at the moment, but lovely shot from Device to open back in. They're going to take over this church area. Kusta with one back, and it's Device just going for these continuous peaks now. Kusta has been losing this duel most of the time, but they don't even need to take this duel. They're going for some aggressive peaks, and Ricky's going to get rid of Device. Kusta ends this pistol, and, well, you said they needed it to get themselves started. They've got it.
Yeah, lovely stuff there. No slow hesitation or overthinking anything. She rushed to top banana and glocked them down. That's what I like to see, and more of it. On the Astralis side, yeah, they buy straight away.
I'm liking, like there's a lot of UMPs over on that T side, going back for that sort of meta buy that we've seen so often. They do have one AK in the hands of Kusta as sort of the safety, but they're going to go heavy on utility, which of course when you look at Inferno, as you said, there's so many places that they can fall back to. This is going to be perfect for just clearing out angles.
Interesting. A lot of damage. Who threw that grenade? Was that their own grenade on the CLG side?
I hope not. I really hope not.
I hope not either, but Device taking a bit of a weird fight here with the Deagle. He lines up the headshot. Just took him 30 minutes to find Kusta. Could have almost been bullet time there. Device looking for a bit more, and backup is coming in as well. Sip is in the arch, so they've got to be careful. I would say fall back, step away from this one.
The only problem is falling back involves giving a rifle over, as the one man to go down is actually the man not holding the trusty UMP. They are going to be using this utility to clear Kirby out of pit. There's a crossfire on this side. There's actually so many people here. They're just pushing straight into a stack at the moment. The spam from Device this time isn't working, but Glaive is there to bail him out. Finesse will be able to trade things back, but look how low they are in HP. 7 and 19 left over on that T side, and you have to remember, Device is still in this corner. Glaive is sat there with a P250, and we've seen him get kills versus full HP players with this wonderful weapon. And well, now he's even got an UMP, which is going to make things so much worse.
Some good spray, actually, that came through from Ricky up in the apartments. Really almost took Glaive down, but now the flank is coming in on the other side. Finesse is almost on the angle. They can try and get this sandwich through. Why are they both stacked up in the corner like this, Astralis? Have they forgotten about the other side here? Seems like they have, and Device getting the one kill. Finesse no longer in the round, and Ricky takes one and gets a second one too. Quick double kill there with 3 seconds left. It will be CLG winning the round. Ooh. That's so close.
They almost make it work with those pistols. The one AK will actually be saved, so that's something at least. But that came way too close, and yeah, I'm really surprised not only by the fact that they lose the round, but how on earth did they get Finesse? Like, Device was watching the angle basically through his teammate. It just seemed really weird that they were sort of watching like sort of crossed on the box, but. Anyway, it works out for Ricky. He wins them the round. Next is going to be left with very, very little. Obviously, they don't make very much money at all with that UMP buy. And they're going to go for something very, very similar in this round with 1 extra rifle on the board.
No cheeky buy coming in from Astralis, at least. So they've slowed it down fairly early on, whereas on Cash, they were willing to sort of keep buying for a while and just sort of maybe throwing a couple of rounds away to that nonsense.
Actually already dinked up. Want to be seeing too many casualties in this round as well, otherwise they will have some problems with economy once the buy comes in for Astralis. Now they've already spotted a few players over towards this A site, but still sticking with their 3-man stack on B. It isn't likely to pay off at all at this point in time, as we can already spot most of the players pushing around, and Glaive is going to go down. Dupree was actually already rotating away, and he's left to try and just fall back. Obviously, they don't really want to hand too much over, just in terms of their lives. Their bodies are worth $300 in this scenario to those UMPs, or 600, sorry, 300 to the AKs. And, well, there you go, 1,200 already made from Ethan. Looking for more, make that a swift 1,800. Only one man left, Device. He's going to make some money of his own at least, and maybe able to save that UMP into the next.
Oh, they are on him. 30 health left here, and Kusta will take him down, so CLG 3-0. A good job on Ethan. Just 5,500 on him at the beginning of the round. Now it's Device with the AWP and M4s on everybody else. See how it's going to pan out for the Danish side. If they can adjust and correct their game early on. I mean, last time they lost 6 in a row, and then they had to do a sort of tactical timeout, and only then did they start to wake up on Cash.
Yeah, I think, however, a lot of that came down to the fact that they were on the T side. And it was those aggressive pushes that were a little bit weird, whereas on CT, really all they have to do is sit back in their sort of positions and just wait for these Angels. But while instead, they're going to challenge the top of Banana. Kusta going for a very aggressive push. The rest of his team denied by a Molotov. And, well, a lot of these CTs are just going to stay here. Zipix just lining them up. 4 kills for him. Absolutely destroying the attempted take of Banana. And while Cutler, he was left as the lurker over towards those apples, nowhere near the bomb. He's got a lot of time to try and do some damage.
Well done. What can you say about that? Cutler gets shot in the back by Kirby, and that push very quickly deflated there. Sip just too many kills. Yeah, and you can tell that they were all focused on the first corner because they almost took down, well, they did a lot of damage to Glaive there, but just a little bit too aggressive maybe.
Going to be working out. They will be able to buy back into this round, and Kusta, in fact, going to go for the counter-op on that T side. Now, a lot of this is just used to counter aggression. It can be very difficult on the T side of Inferno to actually find those picks, but obviously expecting further pushes to come in from this CT side. deep Molotov will in fact force Ethan to go all the way back, and this can allow for them to throw a deep smoke and maybe even take over complete control of Banana. Oh, no way.
How can it be real? I wish we could see the face cam for Kusta there, because honestly, what do you do at that point in time? You just have to accept the idea that just happened. And Device, ready and waiting. Ricky walking into the shot. They're all over the place. They get that kill. They start rotating back. Now they're 3 back on A. It's very hard for CLG to read what's going on right now. And we were pointing this out on Cash, I believe, where we sort of said, if you think that your default is going to be the Astralis default, then you may be suffering under some sort of delusion. So maybe try not to do that.
They're just leaving them with very little space, almost forcing them into the corner. They're just saying, basically, we want you to go this way, and they're obliging. Kirby is waiting as the smoke pushes them towards him. And it does look like they've just been forced into a corner like caged animals. Ethan will be able to take down Device. First kill in this round for the T-side, but they've got so little time. They don't have the bomb. It's down on the floor. Cutler currently sat with the AWP. Glaive all the way down the back at the moment, and while Dupree is just going to be able to take one more down, it's all on to Cutler. He'll lose his life as well. And now, yeah, again, it just looked like they were forcing them exactly where they wanted them to go.
Here's what I would try and do if I was CLG. I would take a page out of how the French used to play Inferno. I would get top mid control, try and force as many people as you can back into the A bomb side and around Archway. Then throw smokes and run. You just like throw arch smoke library, and try and run. And just once you start fighting, you don't stop. That was the power of the French for a long time, and they were so fast that even teams that knew they were going to be fast were still run over by them because they were just so good at it. So I would take that approach to it. Try and see if you can't get that top mid control, and then get the grenades down and go and fight them quickly, because this sort of peeking around and hoping to take and win a fight against a player like Device or anybody on this team is too much.
See, in this round, it is very little invested. I think the other thing as well with that sort of faster play that can work wonderfully is the fact that at the moment they are just going for the challenge. Okay, the one kill they get is actually Zippix, but we saw that the way that they were playing, they were taking over portions of the map, just sort of sector by sector. Just, okay, you can now have this much, almost like taking a very, well, basically taking a cake and just cutting all the parts away until they left you with the middle, and that's what you were allowed to have. So if you just go quickly, you can sort of force them all the way back and not allow them to do that.
What's your favorite cake, Tom? What's the best?
Oh, favorite cake? That's difficult, because I don't mind cake, but like normally I move towards like meringue or something like that. It's not even a cake, but I just like stuff like that, like sweeter
Your favorite cake isn't cake at all?
No, it's not even a cake, but that's what I asked. That's what I have like at my birthday. I won't have a cake, I'll have a meringue. Have I ruined your life just by that?
You failed the cake exam by not even answering within the realm of possibilities. It's horrible. This round is looking great, though. Ricky with a couple of good shots, including Ethan, which he managed to take down. Cutler, though, also got a kill. So still a 2 versus 4. Glaive and Sip are miles away. Finesse inside of the library, defending the books bravely at the moment. And Sip will be the last one left. A nice headshot from Finesse. Good job on CLG. They saw the opening and they took it immediately. No thinking. Gotta love that.
And it was a much faster round as well.
Yeah.
They didn't wait for all the portions of the map to be taken. They just went for it, and it worked wonderfully. So catching Astralis off guard, it is going to be a buy coming back in, however, for the Danes. So
come on, Device. It's Border Seuss in a regular round. I can feel what's coming next.
He shot it straight off. So it was a mistake. He wasn't he wasn't BMing that badly. We're not going to see any more buys of the revolver, even though they found out that wasn't allowed in the previous map.
We'll remove the penalties points this time. We'll accept that. Just a mistake. Butler, a bit worried. His feet were on fire, so it's always a good time to be worried. Glaive and Sip holding at the top of Banana. Dupree also starting to rotate in ever so slowly. And right now, everyone is grouped up, ready for one good grenade from Astralis' side. I'm getting worried for CLG, but if they can make the breakthrough and run down Sip, they couldn't last time, but this time they have the Molotov, and they're just going to force him back.
Already seeing a push actually come up from Device, just waiting for them to rotate back around. And at the moment, Astralis, again, they're just being allowed to take so much control of this map that they're going to be able to just script exactly where they are. They should know that they're all on banana at this moment in time. Not really able to find anything whatsoever, just smoked out. And I'm quite surprised to see that Astralis haven't actually pushed any further. Device not going to be in on that flank, but they do have 3 players ready and waiting, and Xyp9x again gets the first 2 kills. We are going to look for Glaive and Dupree to try and do the rest of the work, but actually we're going to see the bomb go down. Ethan able to get one. Finesse is gone, and well, it's now all on Ethan. He has everything to do. A nice little spot actually on the top of the boxes, unless they push from CT, which is slowly coming in. He's actually going to drop off, and Dupree is just waiting at the moment, waiting for his team to come back in. Ethan desperately trying to isolate him in this scenario, but he just can't. They're going to push in together, take this as a team, and it's going to be very, very difficult. But they don't have a kit, so maybe if he could just bait out a little longer. Nope, unfortunately not.
Oh, what a shame. I mean, he did his best trying to stay alive there, and he did push it right to the limit, you can tell. A couple of more seconds here, and it would have been around for CLG, including the explosion of the whole team. But, yeah, eventually, it does work out for Astralis. Going to put the scoreline at 4-4. We'll see what happens next. The 9th round is coming up here, and bit of a sketchy buy coming in for CLG. I think, if anything, this is the sort of buy that inspires a quick round, you know? You don't have everything you need. You do have the AWP, but still, I would go quick with it.
Yeah, I think the AWP maybe should just be used as a more of a lurk sort of style of thing. Just have it almost waiting back, stopping the further pushes. Because the big thing that we've seen at the moment, well, actually, never mind. He's going to find the first pick. He's going to completely remove the equation of Device. So early start for Ricky. Now they can actually build up with that man advantage already in check. CTs aren't really taking any further aggression as of yet. They're sitting a bit further back over towards each site.
Getting that first kill, always important. And they have still slowed it down quite a bit, even after that. So, not in a position to do any kind of crazy rush. Astralis, I made this point earlier, and I'm going to stick to it. Usually when this happens, when you're 4 versus 5 and you've got 4 on the CT side, yeah, I prefer what they're doing now. So this is, I'm glad that Glaive is rotating this way, because that's what I wanted to say, is that I prefer the 3-1 setup to the 2-2-1. I think this is a more reasonable idea.
Free trying to take that AWP mantle, has it back once again. Glaive going for the spray, and well, through these smokes, they're just able to do so much damage, but unfortunately not able to hold on to their players, as Kyobi is going to go down. Smoke holding them back a little bit, but the bomb looking to rotate back towards this B side. Glaive will be able to get one through the smoke as a minimum, but it is all going to be onto Xyp9x. Now, he did amazingly well last time, able to shut down any players pushing back in.
Well, even worse, he has a Molotov. So if he gets back in time, 20 seconds here, if he throws that Molotov, it's done. They have no chance. And he's just selected it. There it is. 17 seconds. Oh, CLG, this could be heartbreaking.
Yeah, now the rotation even comes in from Glaive as well. They know exactly where this is coming in. Xyp9x going to be so well positioned to just try and stop any further pushes. Kusta making it worse by killing his teammate. And that's it, done and dusted. A round that looked like it was going to go in their favor after they forced rotations away. But one grenade is what ends any chance they have.
I never thought Kusta would be a trader like this, but that was not good timing.
I think
but
that's
yeah,
third team kill of the game.
It is. It's got slightly out of control, but a good lesson in why it's dangerous to leave it down to those 20, 17 seconds. I think when the Molotov went up, that can really come back to haunt you.
This is a weird buy. Got 1 AK and Cutler. The rest of the team.
I think he managed. No, yeah, he stayed alive from the last round. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a little bit questionable, but
no.
Oh no! Come on, the Flames doing everything now. And well, Dupree is at least going to be caught down the bottom of mid. They're still losing players to this aggressive play.
It's absolute madness, isn't it? I think you could even see on the X-ray that guy was trying to jump out of the fire, just wasn't handling it well enough. Ethan again, hitting really good shots. I mean, Ethan, if you had to do talent scouting in that sense, I would say, from the way that Ethan, if you took how Ethan's been playing against lower tier teams in this tournament and how he's playing against Astralis, he does not seem to be very much affected by the pressure at all.
Right, he can win this short. It's 1 versus 1. It's only Glaive left remaining, and it's plenty of time left for him to play with. He doesn't have any armor, so it is going to have to be an instant kill. Okay, he gets his AK out, but how? This is just a perfect read, but it doesn't matter. Instant headshot, there it comes in, and that's going to be Ethan to win the round. 3 kills.
You've got to think, as a young player playing against what, in his eyes, even, like a year ago, he would have said, probably, legendary players that, and suddenly he's sort of playing against them in a big tournament on a stage for a lot of money. There are a lot of things that can go into a player's mind that will sort of be a good explanation of why they aren't doing well all of a sudden, why it's hard to play at this level. Ethan seems unaffected. That's a quality that very few players have. So, interesting.
I would compare it to if you were a caster and you got to cast with Anders.
In an empty stadium, Tom?
Yeah, I know.
Where we're talking about cake and everything else. I feel like we've got it covered.
Yeah, no, it's not much invested this round for Astralis. That actually did so much damage to their economy. And, well, now you're looking at CLG, and although we've sort of been joking around as well, they are 5 rounds on the T side. They're looking for their sick. They're up against pistols. They should be taking the lead at least. That was a big round for them.
Yeah, definitely. Again, CLG hanging on and showing us rounds here. It's just so hard to figure out if these rounds are as a result of them hitting a higher level or as a result of Astralis messing around too much. Like it's unclear. Playing up against that one C-set 75 on Kiev, that's the one thing that I'm worried about, and it's quite far away.
There shouldn't be any way that get anything done. Actually, the smoke going to go down, and they've rotated their players towards this smoke. Most of the time, you can see this just to deny any sort of vision, and then you expect there only to be one player here. The push comes out, damage done. Xyp9x wins the duel versus an AK. Not really sure how, and they actually have players up close. Glaive, he gets himself another one, eventually falls. And well, now, as you mentioned, that one CZ all the way on the other side of the map. No real chance to do much, but it could at least make things a little bit more costly for CLG.
Yeah, that was about to be dangerous with Glaive running through the smoke like that. They do prevail, so that is good news. I mean, again, it's something that you always have to notice when you look at Inferno is how much time is left on the clock and who still has smokes on the CT side. That smoke went down at around 35 seconds, and since they last about 17 seconds, it's kind of scary if you're on the T side. You don't know if there's going to be a second one coming in, and by the time it clears, you have like 17 seconds of your own to try and get the bomb down. Kirby? What is he doing?
He ran out of bullets.
Just trying to become one with the walls?
Yeah, just a different type of walls to what we're used to.
Yeah, come in peace. 6-5, and moving into the 12th round here. All M4s, except for the FAMAS on device. I'm surprised that we haven't seen any crazy mid-pushes coming out of Astralis yet. That used to be a popular thing, maybe still is. Pushing 3 men down mid and then two down banana, or the other way around if you prefer. Try and sandwich the terrorists in there. CLG still being very careful.
We actually saw one of the rounds where they sort of threw caution to the wind. Work wonderfully when they just push towards the A side. Now, in these sort of rounds, I don't actually mind them playing it slow because they should know that the investment isn't going to be that great from Astralis, and if they can bait out some of these smokes, then it will become a lot easier to go for one of those sort of quick pushes onto the site without any counter utility available. The problem they have is, even when only having a P250 and 1 smoke, Glaive held it, as you said, to the 35th second, which shouldn't really be possible.
Ethan trying with the wall bang. It's very possible, all of those windows, and there's almost no damage fall of either. The only problem I can see with doing it is that they can shoot through on the other side, and shall we say, their angle is much easier than yours is, so got to be very careful there. 3-4 men over towards the A side, and just leaving Glaive on the B bomb side towards top banana. It's a pretty good setup here for Astralis.
Maybe a good way to actually counter the fact that they don't have much utility is the fact that they're just all here waiting. At the moment, the push is going to come through, and again, through smokes is where the damage is done. Dupree and Co just doing so much. Ethan being able to trade something back, at least a couple of kills. The bomb will go down, so keeping them secure for the next round. AWP still stands on Kusta, but they're just waiting for that rotation of Glaive. They're going to take this as a 3 versus 2, and Ethan in this corner He has to hit the shot onto Glaive, and the problem is he also has the spot from Dupree. Almost takes him down with him. But Kusta now, he's got everything left to play with. AWP manages the first with the Deagle, looking for a little bit more as the bomb ticks away, and he gets it as well. Kusta with the Deagle, doesn't even need that AWP, and CLG win a 7th.
Just very impressive. Very well done. Ethan standing his ground against Glaive, definitely important too. That second shot from, or the first shot from Kusta on the guy up on top of the hay card, that was interesting. 7-5 the scoreline, and that puts Astralis very low on economy. They only buy 1 HE grenade. Wish it could have been more, but once again, Astralis just looking not quite in the map. And it's CLG leading the charge, and already with a better first half than I had expected, and they could make it much better at this point.
And this time as well, if we talk about the other side, it could get a bit worrying if they go for those sort of ridiculous plays again. But there we go, Dupree. 1 down, but quickly 2 fall in return. The aggression over towards B doesn't work out whatsoever. And the pre-fire from Ethan is enough to finish off the majority of Astralis. Only Zipix left with a P250, but instant headshot. Unfortunately, he is now on the wrong side of the map. B site has been taken, bomb will go down, and they've actually got a player waiting at the moment. But he has picked up an AK at least, so he can opt to save this into the next round, but doesn't look like he's going to.
It's confusion for a moment. Don't think he realized that Ricky was standing on the bomb site. 8-5, and 14th round is coming up here. Let's see if they can have any kind of an impact. They will cause or call for a pause here on the Astralis side, so 5-8.
Quite late in the half to be calling a pause. I suppose it is the difference between 8-5 and 8-7, which can be quite a difference, but
yeah.
The thing I think they have to hope for is that CLG really don't have anything on their CT side prepared, because if they have even got like just some decent holds or like the way they're going to take over map control, then this can get a little bit scary. It is still sort of edging towards that CT-sided map, but we have seen a lot of teams, especially when outclassing their opponent, just able to BM their way through the T side and just go full aggressive and just win the duels with the AKs.
Yeah, and that's my big fear as well for CLG, that maybe that's going to end up happening, but we'll see it if it happens. Countdown has run out, and that means we're back in the game here. M4s and the AWP there on Astralis. Device, is he going to try and go aggressive in the middle? No, it's actually going to be top banana instead.
Yeah, he actually, previously when he went for that aggressive peek, got countered, but this time we'd think that they'd want to try and set him up in a spot where he can just dominate banana and they can then sort of cheat over the remaining player to the A site. And they've done that quite often, in fact, having 4 players on A so far. And almost worked out in the previous round, other than the heroics that came out from Kusta with the Deagle. Just going to be denying any further pushes at the moment. They have a decent amount of utility as well, which has been a bit more of a problem for CLG when trying to take over sort of portions of the map when they've just been denied by smokes and had to wait them out.
Don't jump, Ethan. Just whatever urge you have to jump over this wall, just don't do it. Fight it.
Get someone to flash you in, then take the aggressive peek. I believe in Ethan at this point. He has looked like a sort of diamond amongst the rough. But they're actually going to go for this push now. Device left blind. He goes for the flick shot. The jump does come in. He couldn't resist the temptation. And while spotting that AWP, at least one player is going to fall back. But they're leaving themselves very thin on time. And this is the problem. There's still so much utility left on Astralis. They're holding it till these remaining 30 seconds. And, well, the fake's going to be thrown in from Cutler, but not really seeing anything else. There's two players on this site, and while Device is going to pick off one, the push coming in from Zipix with the flash. Sheer confidence from this man. And they have so little time. Again, he's got that incendiary down with 10 seconds left on the clock, and this round is done. There's nothing that the rest of the players could do because that incendiary is just sat at that bottom bit of banana.
Cutler low on health. Time has run out. Are they really going to try and chase him? Poor Cutler. He will be going down after the time has run out, so no loss bonus for him. But it doesn't really matter that much. I think they had the money maybe. I think they had the money anyway here for the 15th round. I wish we could get the replay of Sips 1 vs 2 right when he peeks the corner there, because actually there's something that's valuable that isn't talked about that much, and it's a skill that I'm not sure many people practice, but more people should. I would say as a default, 80% of all players, maybe even more than that, when they're in that situation, they will try and swap from one player to the next. They will swap targets in the middle of the spray because they're panicked, because they're worried, they don't know what they're doing. It's very, very important to sort of get the first guy down and then go to the next. Seems like really elementary stuff, but it's something more people should practice and think about actively when they're in it and say, I'm going to take one guy with me at least and then worry about the next afterwards. Nice headshot from Finesse, but Dupree with the line up there. So still a 3-on-3, and Kiebi denying the bomb pickup, and Ethan out of the round.
It is going to be back to that 2 versus 2, however. A much faster round coming out from CLG. The bomb, however, is down. And there's a crossfire setup waiting. The flash is going to be avoided by Glaive. However, he is somewhat alone as the fallback has come in from his teammate of Zippix, but they're not actually going to be checking the angle whatsoever. Cutler able to get one, but don't expect the second. Astralis bring it back to an 8-7 half. And they're going to look to try and close this one out on the T side.
Yes, indeed. So fairly even first half. CLG again doing better than we were expecting, but also Astralis sort of fooling around a bit more than we were hoping for, maybe. See if they can do better on the second half. That's coming up right after the break. So stay with us. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here it's Astralis versus CLG, the second map of this quarterfinals, the last of the day. Winner is going to be facing over against Navi in the semifinals tomorrow. And it's been 8-7 against CLG, I would say, doing much better than I was expecting. And again, it's Ethan. I keep Nathan. I keep wanting to say that. It's just I read it out loud. Ethan and Ricky doing a really good job. And actually, I mean, even Kusta, Finesse, and Cutler have been sort of sticking in there, doing a good job. They've definitely kept their cool, and I think they've made this a way more competitive quarterfinal than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can continue to carry it through here in the second half. If they win the pistol round and start to deny that economy for Astralis, I would say it would be a massive success if they could pull in a third map. Who knows?
Yeah, obviously, then that's where things get really interesting because obviously Astralis, we still aren't sure how much of this is just them not playing up to the standard that we expect of them, but there's still those moments where you just think, okay, that's where it's more internal. And actually, 4 players on B. This is a really nice read coming out from CLG. The problem is, it's diminishing. Finesse manages 1, but now there is only 2 players left in this crossfire. Ethan is one of them, and he gets the first and takes down Dupree as well, leaving only 2 Astralis players left alive. And look at the flank already in from Ricky. Gets the first kill, takes the head clean off, and now it's all onto Zippix, looking to try and at least take down the flanking man, but it doesn't work, and that is a really nice pistol round from CLG.
Yeah, fantastically done. That's such a good read. You're absolutely right. a big risk to take, but if you're playing Astralis, you've got to do this. And here's the thing, right? Even at the level of Astralis, you know, you run in and you take those first 2 kills, you're mentally thinking that's it, that's all there is. And that moment of overconfidence is what allows Ethan to get the next 2 kills like that, because they just weren't ready for it. That is well done. Again, CLG putting in a high level, I would say. We've got.
They're going to do it again.
Yeah, but Ricky's ready. He hears them coming, trying to fall back. Where's the backup inside? Finesse waiting a bit too long. Ricky gonna just give him the grenade. It lands right at the feet of 3 players, and now Finesse back at new box goes down to Glaive. The full rotation is in right now, but they've done an all right job here. Astralis, it's still a 3-on-3, and the bomb will be going down.
They've been tagged so low. That nade from Ricky doing a lot of damage, and just bullets flying everywhere has caught them. But now we wait to see how the retake can actually come in. Now there's a couple of nades still left, an incendiary to clear a couple of angles as well. They definitely have the favored weaponry, although these Tech-9s have been very, very powerful throughout. Cutler actually going to be left blind by a team flash, not helping them anymore, but they do still have the kit as well. Ethan is going to be getting the first back in, a second as well, leaving just Kyobi actually sat back, and the bomb is already being defused. There's nothing he can do in this scenario. He's just going to fall back, keep his weapon into the next round, as they may be forced to eco, but the bomb, ooh, will that change their mind?
It shouldn't. I would say at this point, once again, just like on the first map, CLG are at a point where they're forcing Astralis to respect them. They're saying, if you're gonna play silly, then we can outmatch that level, which I think in itself is impressive. That's again maybe more than I was expecting out of CLG. I hope that doesn't mean my expectations sort of were too low, but we are talking about one of the best teams in the world here. So I would say they've already shown a good level at this point. So Astralis gonna buy some flashbangs and everything else, but yeah, they're being pressured enough that they have to save for the AKs and everything. So they should have plenty of money for in the next round.
Decent amount of money will be in play. Glaive, however, still able to do damage with the minimal amount he's invested in. This actually leaves only Ricky over towards the site. Quickly traded out by Kusta on A, but the dig will be retrieved by Kyobi. Actually has some armor behind it. Spotted out though, and Kusta doing the work yet again. However, the bomb is rotating. The smoke will deny any further pushes, and actually they're going down mid. This could be wonderful for the CT side. They're going to be looking to pincer in on the remaining players. We will spot device, and well, now the bomb's actually isolated in the middle of 2 players. The only one able to do anything is going to be Zipix.
50 seconds still on the clock. They're weirdly separated from each other, with Ethan being in the middle of it, and looks like actually they're going to try and group up, and Ethan goes down. Sip with a good shot. Booster and Ricky, certainly 2 players that have drawn some attention to themselves during this best of 3 already. Let's see if they can come out with a win here. That's a great shot from Kusta, taking down Glaive. Not much time to react to that one now. Sip puts out the Molotov, but he's got to be very careful. If he waits too long, and maybe he already has, it's allowed Ricky to get in. The Molotov is not going to burn him, but still a 1v2 out in the open. Misses the first couple of shots. He's got no armor, so any bullet on him and he's done. You see immediately. And there's the quad kill from Kuster. Another round being won here by CLG, 11-7.
Yeah, in the greater scheme of things, though, that wasn't a bad round for Astralis. They dropped 3 players. They're able to get a bomb plum, which will boost their money to basically get whatever they desire. You can have an AWP in play. They can have full utility and even a little bit of extra money to spare going into the next round. So this is where we really see the test onto the CT side of CLG. And so far, they have made a couple of mistakes in terms of just being pressured early on. And I think if that happens in this buy round, they're going to be struggling.
I agree. And another problem they're facing is the fact that Kyobi's got 4 kills in 18 rounds. So he was very good on cash. He was the top fragger, but eventually now he's sort of let go a little bit of that part of it. And he's going to have to refine that. Because otherwise it's almost like Astralis are playing this 4 versus 5. And that I don't think they can afford to do.
They're definitely a talented lineup, but I think dropping a player won't be helping them out any such. This time they're not going to lose, or the CT side are not going to lose any players early on at least. They are going to be losing quite a bit of control of Banana, however, with the deep smoke not doing too much. And they're actually going to have to go back to the site itself, which, again, it's one of those scenarios where you don't really want to be letting Astralis execute onto you, because that's where, well, they should be winning the majority of these duels, and you can already see they are just going to start taking presence across the map, peeking out in apartments as well as Dupree looks to try an entry, but Ethan actually on the boost spot, which obviously we know, we've already seen a pre-fire through the wall to his left, and he's going to be left completely blind, but Cutler there to defend him. Will get the first pick of the round. Sorry, not of the game. That would be very impressive.
Just waited a long time. We're inside the bomb site here. Ricky and Finesse have got a bit of a setup, and Astralis don't have that many grenades to break it with, so I like this. Ricky's going to have the primary focus, even Kusta and Ethan going to start to rotate on in. It might be too much, though. Look at Glaive and Sip. They've cleared out top mid, and oh no, Ethan! A battle that it looked like he would have won 9 times out of 10, but this time Glaive just going to hit the headshot, and that leaves Cutler in the pit, and he's in such a lot of trouble. He goes for that peek, and he gets the headshot on Kirby, almost unreal. Now down to 8 seconds. Where's that bomb plant coming from? Finally, they're going to be able to put it down with just 3 seconds left, and Device falling off the ledge, and Glaive hitting the headshot, leaving Finesse and Ricky here. 2 versus 3. If they can get this retake, then my God, it's going to be close for Astralis, but CLG, a man down, and trying to sneak in. Glaive low on health. 1, in fact, and Finesse looking for it, but Glaive steps out. There's the quad kill and the headshot as well, and Ricky's going to have to make a run for it. What a round for Glaive.
I think the worst thing about that as well is he was clearly just the bait.
Yeah.
They had a second player in the corner, so that if he then died, they wouldn't check it again. That's the idea behind it. You don't have 2 players in a corner if you're expecting to just be sprayed down. Instead, he just hits the instant headshot anyway, gets 4 kills for himself, and will even be able to escape out. Ricky will fall away with the AWP, so that's something for them to play with, but the buy, that's where things get interesting, because their money really isn't too good. They can probably get some UMPs and such on the board, but I'd actually quite like to see them just save and get their buyback on in the next round.
No, I agree. Like I said, I think CLG have been playing such a respectable game up until this point. If they started doing sort of crazy buys now, I don't think it's worth it. C-Seds, I'm fine with. A good time for a tactical pause anyway. 3-round difference here between the 2 teams. If you are just joining us and you haven't been paying attention, it's the second map in this quarterfinals. Astralis winning the first one with a fairly close scoreline. Wasn't a complete stomping.
It was actually fairly similar to what if people did watch the previous game they played versus Astralis on Train, where they get themselves that 6-0 lead, and then things sort of spin out of control, and, well, then it ends up as a sort of 16-11 both times that happened. And, well, in this round at least, I'm hoping we will see something flashy from Ricky. He's got to go for something aggressive, try and find something with that AWP. Already flashed up, goes for the timing shot, and he's just going to have to fall away. But, in fact, it looks like he's going to go all the way back, or maybe not. I thought he might just reposition over towards the A side, decides to stick towards B, maybe re-peek.
Right, they know he's saved the AWP, and they've heard it fired at top banana, so it's always one of those things. Oh, Ethan nearly manages to adjust. That was close. But yeah, if you're Astralis, do you guess that he's still there, or do you think he could have gone back to middle? Either one would do it. Sort of, I mean, there's no right or wrong choice in that scenario. Grenades are starting to rain in, and Ricky is holding the close corner. See if he could do it. Cutler actually up on the box, gets 1, but Device will take down the AWP. That's a shame for Ricky. He's been on point with it, and he was very good on cash with it as well. Akusta and Cutler now in some trouble. And question is, do they want to try and save the AK and AWP, or go for the retake with no armor? I would say save.
Yeah, I think we can pretty much guarantee that as well, just based off the way that they've been playing in this game. They have been pretty safe with a lot of the plays they've been making, going for more standard executes, trying to catch out the aggression from Astralis. So I think for them to then just throw it all to the wall and just try and run in with an AWP and an AK, when you know that they're going to have stuff set up on the A side, it would be almost ludicrous.
No chance they're going to get found either. Astralis showing not many signs that they are out for any kind of a hunt. Which again, I would say is another sign that some respect has been put into them here. You know, they're not just running all over the place like they kind of were a bit earlier, but it's getting close now. It will be 9-11 as the scoreline. See how they do from here on out, CLG. I think the one thing that could really come back to bite them, having won the first 3 rounds here in the second half, is just the money.
do have enough. Obviously, this was sort of saving up for this buy, and keeping the AWP is going to help them out quite a bit, plus the AK that will benefit their utility quite heavily. And in fact, even with all of this, Ricky's still going to be buying up a UMP. Now, I think Kusta could have actually dropped him a rifle, so I'm not really sure why. I know he wants to get extra utility, but he could have sort of done that anyway. So a bit of an odd decision to be making, but maybe it's going to be down to the position he's actually playing. Early aggression up. This time they've got 3 players waiting at the top of Banana for this T side, and going to throw out a lot of utility. In fact, Glaive is going to have to use some of his own just to stop himself burning.
Yeah, nicely done. Essentially free damage being put into Glaive there. On the other side. Oh no, Ricky! Again, the temptation to make that jump, and Glaive just happened to be in the right spot. What a sad way to go at the beginning of a round. 9 rounds here for Astralis. If they pick up this one again, CLG won't really have the money, so they've got to stay alive somehow. And there's a boost going on by Archway, actually, which is interesting. That means there's no defense over by Pit at all.
They are going to take a bit of aggression. Kirby actually just waiting, peeks out, doesn't manage the shot, and that's nice from Finesse. Takes down 2, drops the bomb as well, and they're just going to fall back. They're going to keep this man advantage going.
That's unbelievable. How on earth did Finesse get that spray in? As soon as they peek from different sides of his monitor, essentially, should have been going down. It's a very sloppy play from Astralis, but great spray control coming out of Finesse. And he did what I was sort of crediting Ethan for earlier. He really, or Sipnik, sorry, he really stuck the spray on the first guy. No hesitation at all there. Nicely done. Now they're going to go for that boost. Trying to see if they can get up onto the canopy. It's 7-8.
Kusta actually able to hold one off on the cross. That will give them a 2-man advantage going into this retake. They should just be waiting for the rest of their team to arrive, play this in a way that won't give Astralis any chance in holding off versus 4 players. Now, they don't have any utility left to play with. That smoke that they've just thrown down was to deny the majority. And they do actually have 1 flashbang. That is it, 1 flashbang. Incendiary thrown in, trying to force them out of the side, but it's going to be Device up close. He does get nothing, in fact, but he will be spraying away. Dupree's the one doing the damage, but he's left alone now. 2 players very low on HP, and Cutler will finish him off. It's a round for CLG utilizing that kit. And, well, I think one of the things you pointed out was the fact that they shouldn't have lost that duel early on. It's Kirby again, 4 kills, hasn't been able to do anything.
No, but look at how low they all were in health. I mean, that was a really tight round. Good timing there for CLG. That could have gone horribly out of control, but you are right. I mean, he's not doing much. Astralis, they get the bomb plant down. They go for another pause here. And what is the money like for them? Just enough that they could buy a bit. This really well done for Finesse. He was obviously not expecting for someone to be by the barrels, so that is what brings them right back in the game.
But everything in that duel was in Kirby's favor.
Yeah.
So that it is very, very surprising. But, yeah, you have to give props over to CLG. And now you even look at the buy that's coming in for Astralis. And if they are to lose this round, they're going to be in big, big trouble. So this is actually getting very, very close. It's 12-9. They lose this one. Obviously looking at 13, possibly 14 based off what will be invested. And then they are only 2 rounds away of actually stealing away not only a map, but the map picked by Astralis.
That would certainly be an interesting turn of events. Deep breath right now if you're on the Astralis team, because they definitely need to pull themselves together. Otherwise, he's got top mid covered, and Kuster's on the other side. Does he want to take the peak? No, he doesn't, and I think that's a good choice. When you're ahead like this, and you know the pressure is on Astralis, this is where you can start to maybe try and take some guesses that actually they're the ones who have to take a bit of a risk, you know. Now they're the ones where the pressure is on them to make a good play to come back in the game, so now maybe you can afford to play a bit more default and see if that's going to work out. Sip will open up on Ethan. Kusta in so much trouble. At least he was already in the graveyard when they killed him. Good news.
And now the remaining players of the CTs, they're just going to fade out of this. Not really worth challenging versus 5. A change up in pace and execute onto the A site. And these are exactly the sort of rounds I was talking about when mentioning the previous map. Okay, Device. Just runs straight into the crosshair. He was really enjoying his run. Obviously, we did hear earlier in the interview that he is the one who spends the most time in the gym. So He's just trying to stretch his legs a little bit.
Yeah, I think at one point even he had to make a choice if he wanted to be a sort of professional Counter-Strike player or a semi-professional badminton player. I think had sort of that going for him as well.
Did not know that.
Yeah, definitely the athletic type. 10 to 12 here. I mean, it is sort of difficult with that kind of opening. I think because that attack towards the A-bomb site happened so early in the round, if it's 20 seconds later, there's a very good chance that CLG have one of the 3 B players rotated towards Arch, and then Kusta can actually have help when he's in Graveyard. You know, someone can be there to help him. But it happened so early that they didn't do that, and that's why it looked like they just got overrun in that round, but not necessarily so. Just good timing for Astralis there. 23rd round is coming up, and I'm still waiting for something out of clg. He's certainly rushing, and that's an interesting smoke.
Yeah, the roof smoke.
Yeah, blocks the sun from your eyes, so you don't get that messing with you as you're trying to get in.
Stops you seeing the stars.
Yeah, it's all good. Finesse is alone on this side, and the way that he's holding, I'm not a big fan of. If you want to play, yeah, so either you should go back to coffins, or ideally you should be close to top banana so you can see what's happening. But if you're playing here, at least where Finesse is now, you can sort of give your team advanced warning and then fall back and wait for them to come and help out. Oh, they showing slightly. There's a good grenade to buy time. I like that.
They're not actually going to rotate anybody back around. So there's still the majority of Astralis over towards this B site, and that is not going to help him out anymore. Smoke actually doesn't completely cover off from the T's either, so it's not perfect, but they are going to re-smoke it, so not going to make much of a difference. The rotation has come in from Cutler, but they are going to completely lose the site before they can even do anything, and this looks like they just tried to basically gamble off what we saw in the previous round, but they are going to boost up. This gives a great view for Finesse. He's going to pick up one, already giving them the man advantage back into this retake. But look at this flank from Dupree. He's going to try and flank the whole team. There's nobody pushing down Banana. They know the exact direction of every single player currently coming from CLG, and they've already thrown out most of their utility.
Yes, indeed. No more grenades for the Astralis side. Glaive is holding close now. CLG, can they get this retake? 4 versus 5. Got to do it before Dupree shows up. There's one grenade coming out. Dupree shooting one in the back, and Device and clg. Finally, clg in the round as well. And that leaves Cutler 1 versus 3. Has to just fall back into construction, but he can't even. He's going to have to fight his way out of this if he wants to try and stay alive. Spraying a bit there, but that's going to be the end of it. In fact, clg finds 3 kills in the round. That will make it 11-12 here. So a bit sloppy for Astralis that they didn't see that boost coming and that they had nobody reacting to it. There's no good explanation for why 3 people had to peek construction all at the same time. So, you know, one guy planting, one peek construction, and have the other guy, you know, look at the smoke. Because even if it's not the boost, it could be someone, you know, underhand flashing their way through or something. So that was a bit stupid for Astralis, but they do make it work in the end. And now the money for CLG just not there. That's heartbreaking because they've been doing a good job holding on to the game so far, but on the CT side, they could lose because of a lack of money, simply.
Yeah, I think as well, it has to be pointed out, Astralis got quite lucky that nobody rotated through mid.
True.
Like, every single player went through CT, which just set up Dupree to basically go, okay, we know they're all coming from this direction, and I can have the flank. So it's one of those sort of scenarios you're not going to see very often. Like, having 5 players alive and no one going through middle is quite obscure. But, well.
What's happening? Ricky having a weird fight with Device. Nobody seeing each other. And I preferred Ricky's style, though. That was manly, just deciding, you know what? If this is going to turn into a knife fight, then. In that case. Ties up the scoreline at 12-12 and moves us into the 25th round.
And they've done one better than the previous 2, but they're going to want to do better than that, obviously. They do have a buy on the board. Ricky now with the AWP in hand. It has been mainly Kusta picking up in this map so far, so let's see what he can actually do with it. I'm going to switch over. He's going to be going for that aggressive peek.
That was a nice HE. Oh, the peek on the other side. Actually, almost Device getting blocked by a teammate, but once again, Ricky trying to make that work and not quite getting the reward that he was looking for.
Looking to try and make up, but not going to happen. Dupree just waiting, and now they're pushing into the clutches of Astralis.
Yeah, and the problem with that particular peak is you see the shadow, obviously, so he would always have a bit of an advantage there. Kerry with a long smoke towards the pit, and Cutler getting taken out. And actually a great double return from Kuster, a triple, turning it around. He nearly could have got that, but Sipnik's just there with the timing, and that leaves Finesse with an AWP walking into a 1 versus 2, and actually they're walking the bomb out of there. If it wasn't already difficult for Finesse, now it definitely will be. I would say swap this out for a different weapon.
Yeah, he's definitely got the chance, and he should realize pretty soon that they are nowhere to be seen unless they're playing the ultimate mind games versus him. And, well, the thing is now, just positions. He's got so many angles that he's going to have to check on his way back in. He's actually going to stick with the AWP for now. Doesn't have a kit either.
What's that? It's like a cinematic shot of all the corpses in quad. That was brutal. Starladder production just treating us to a shot of the carnage. But yeah, he's going to save the AWP instead. Not really unreasonable. If you think about the amount of angles he would have to find running from, even from A to B, and then once he got there, if they just play it halfway safe or even have one grenade, then how is that going to work out? So 13 to 12 here, favoring Astralis. They've overtaken CLG, giving the American team just 4 rounds so far on the CT side.
Yeah, and actually only 1 buy round as well. So it's mainly been off the back of those pistols that we've seen anything as of yet on their CT side. In terms of this round, it's looking like it's just going to have to be that one AWP trying to make some sort of play. They can invest a little bit into pistols as well. And in fact, we are actually going to see a pause come out once again from CLG. So just taking their time. They're still in a position where they can pull this map off, although it is looking less and less likely as Astralis, again, they just seem to be picking up their rhythm a little bit, going for some faster plays, and they have been catching out the Americans quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say the big stumbling block still is the money. It's the fact that they don't have the economy to put up a really good fight here. And we were talking about this even earlier today when we were watching one of the other quarterfinals. How much it really matters, how much money you have on the CT side here, because you need smokes and molotovs, right? You need to buy time and force Astralis to eventually run through a smoke, preferably, or at least make sure they have very little time by the time they get onto a bomb site. They are going to save it one more time, so no crazy buy-up in this round. Even saving the AWP, they didn't feel like it. And Finesse is going to keep the AWP. I'm not sure I agree with that. Even with the armor, I would give it to Ricky or Booster.
Yeah, not really renowned for his AWPing prowess, but just like Dupree, maybe he can try and prove us wrong. This is not what they're known for, but maybe there is a little bit something there. Dupree, well, speak of him, and he shall appear, and while both kills already, 2 of the 4 players that were currently stacked over towards that A site. Ricky was the one-man army, and, well, they have to be very careful with that AWP. In fact, already just seemingly ducking out, maybe wanting to keep this into the next round. Not going to be doing a huge amount of damage to Astralis' economy anyway, as they have been building up quite a bank over the last few. Something to mention, though, as well, in terms of your point of the value of the nades, is just when you look at how the 2 rounds, in fact, were won by Xyp9x with 1 incendiary.
Yeah.
Just left so late into the round is sort of the perfect idea, obviously, in this sort of circumstance. Okay! Double for Finesse. He at least gets a couple, making things costly. And, of course, that's a weapon that Kuster can actually look to pick up, although he's currently juggling it, and, in fact, that will lose them the remainder of the weaponry. As Device now just waits. Xyp9x is coming in from behind, and he won't even need the help.
Oh man, that was a good double kill to start off. Saving the AWP, but they were sandwiched in. They had no way out. 14 to 12 here. CLG now they have the money. They go for the double AWP. They took the tactical timeout to figure out what they wanted to do in this round, and we'll see if it's going to pay off or not. This is what it all comes down to. If they want to get that 3rd map and fight their way there, it is possible. It's not out of the realm of possibilities here, and mostly because Astralis don't have that much money either. If CLG can bring this to 14-14, then probably by that point Astralis will have to save. Oh, but Kuster in the middle. Just his hip showing a Device will get the kill. But yeah, if they can get back to an even scoreline here, then at least I think they'll have a good shot of doing it.
Finesse tagged down to 44 HP from the double nade thrown out by Astralis. The thing is as well, the way they look to be playing this sort of round is more of a pick style of play with the AWPs. And we've already seen how that didn't work on Cash. where they were just trying to pick versus Device, and he just likes these sort of duels. Push in, double comes in from Ethan, looking for that triple as well, and he still has support on the side from Cutler, who manages a double of his own. Now it's all onto Glaive. Nothing
Beautiful.
to be done, and again, we saw this when they played Train. Ethan and Cutler as a crossfire, they do very well together.
That may have been one of the best time Molotovs I've seen in a while from Ethan as well, because they wanted to fight him in that corner, and the only way to do it was sit inside the Molotov and spray at him. So it's really remarkably well done. Ethan again. I mean, he's a monster right now. He's top fragging in the server. He's got 24 kills, and he's playing against Astralis. Like I said earlier, he's essentially just a kid playing, but he seems unaffected by the pressure. Very impressive. 14 to 13 here. We'll see what happens in the 28th round. Astralis can buy, but this almost used the whole, but they actually have more money than I thought. So it might be that even at 14-14, Astralis is just going to keep on fighting. CLG is a long way out of the woods for them here.
They're at least going to be able to retrieve their double AWP setup. Something they clearly want to stick behind, although I don't think an AWP got a single kill in the previous round. It was just both players just waiting around. The ball's on Ricky to just push back into the angle where it's just been spammed. Like, you know that he's going to be pre-firing that shot, but still wants to try and get into a spot where he can take the shot himself. The push up top banana again. Map control going to be gained by the Danes. But the bomb looking like it may just switch up back towards that A site.
Now, here's something interesting. How long are Ricky and Fennis going to hold on to their Molotovs? Because this is something that's worth keeping an eye on in terms of how much they understand the map.
They still have 5 on their side.
Yeah, and that in itself, at 40 seconds, is almost unheard of. So almost no one does this. And Astralis haven't been able to punish it yet, and this could be a real problem for the Danish side. CLG really starting to step it up now. Device being boosted up and even making the jump up. Is he going to try and get up to the rooftop? Still waiting. 24 seconds. This is not good. Oh, no! Device taking down Glaive. Mutiny in the Danish ranks. Now's the time for CLG to strike. Surely, if ever there was one, Dupree comes down with a spray on Cutler. Backup needs to be called for. Ethan going to be going down. 9 seconds left. CLG, can they hold on here? Finesse is dropped next in line. Device trying to make up for his earlier transgression. And oh, he gets Ricky trying to escape as well. Couldn't even make it into the library, and Kusta goes down. Triple kill. Quad if you can't Glaive. 15-13, CLG, they had the chance right then and there.
I hate to keep making similarities to Train, but he actually did that as well. Killed a teammate in main in the back.
It's the blood sacrifice.
Well, it gives him that extra power, clearly, because just gets a triple kill in that round. And, well, that came way too close. I was looking at all those incendiaries, then the team kill, and you think, okay, this is the one, and then, well, still managing to just find all of the picks when pushing into the site, leaving it down to very, very little. The jumble sail by in play at the moment for CLG. Device, oh, he's wallbanged this so many times, actually gets caught. That will be an AWP down. Kyobi just going to try and Molotov it off for now, and actually they're just going to go straight rotating back towards this A site. There's 2 players currently in pit. Wrapping round, almost getting hit by the timing again, but Dupree will be able to win that duel.
Oh, I mean, it's almost unbelievable, because if Ricky's just a bit quicker, he's going to catch Glaive looking the wrong way. Glaive is looking in towards CT spawn, so incredibly unfortunate there. Now 2 people down in pit, Cutler and Kusta. Good spray from Dupree will take down 1, and Kusta's going to fall as well. Finesse and Ethan. It looks like this might be the end. It's going to be a tough retake, and I wish Ethan could at least find a gun to make it a reasonable fight here. Finesse going to go the long way around. Not necessarily a bad idea, but we can see Glaive already has figured that out, at least that it's a possibility. Ethan going to maybe try and flash his teammate in. There's one flashbang, another one going deep. Finesse is down, and Ethan, no chance at all. It's going to be 16-13 here, favoring Astralis, which means they're going to face off against Na'Vi in the other semifinals tomorrow. But, I mean, if you look at the scorelines here, CLG, first of all, they made it into the quarterfinals. That in itself is crazy. Going further than Virtus Pro, SK, a bunch of other teams in this tournament. And now, add to that, certainly making Astralis, I think, respect them and showing that they had to take it seriously here. So, good job on CLG, I'd say.
Yeah, they got into double digits on both maps, in fact. And, well, there were scenarios in both where I was thinking, okay, actually, They're in a position where they can now take this, which I wasn't really expecting going into the series, thinking, oh no, this will just be a dominant performance from Astralis. They'll show why they are the best team in the world, but they did look like they were a little bit off in the sort of the way they were playing in that game.
No, absolutely. So a bit sketchy, and you know, I suspect that we'll see a slightly different team tomorrow, Astralis, when they're playing Navi. I think they'll be,
You'd hope so.
yeah, I think they'll be more on point sort of from the beginning. Looked like they were a bit slow to start in both the maps, and sort of, you know, took them a while. Every once in a while, I think it was even a tactical timeout before it really sort of kicked off. But eventually it did, and they will be moving on. Now we do have the desk ready. So Alex, how are you guys doing?